I'm the Fancy Floridian, and today I'm going to show you how to go from everyday to galaxy far, far away through the power of vintage clothing. I'm going to show you all my tips and tricks for planning and putting together an outfit and the finished product that I wore to Spring Dapper Day 2021 in Walt Disney World. So when I start planning my Dapper Day looks, I start with a theme first. I knew that this was going to be Star Wars month here at FashionEarsta, so I decided to look for dresses on Etsy that were Star Wars appropriate. I went to some of my favorite vintage storefronts and took a look and saw if anything inspired me, and I was able to fortunately find a dress that just screamed Lord Vader at me. So I bought it pretty far in advance so that I would have time to plan the rest of my outfit. Now once I have my dress, it's time to get all organized with the little details that make a vintage outfit truly pop. I start out by putting my hair up for travel or for the dressing process. I use a silk scarf, just keeps it nice and neat. I also got this slip. It's just on Amazon. It keeps me all sucked in. You can also use Spanx if you want. I also wear vintage style tights or hose. These have a faux seam down the back. You want to make sure you get that straight. So it's helpful if you have a friend who can look at your legs and say, yeah, those are a little uneven. Now the next layer is your crinoline or petticoat. You put this on over your slip so that it doesn't itch, because they're made out of vinyl or stiff nylon and it's not comfortable. I got this one for about $10 on eBay, but you can always get a real vintage one or get it in a bunch of different colors if you like. Whatever you choose, it gives your dress volume and a real vintage look. And once you've got your base layer on, you get to have fun with vintage hair and makeup. I like to use products like Bessamite, which are reproductions of real vintage colors and products. Lipstick is always the hardest for me because I'm just not that neat, so I use a little paintbrush that I got from Michael's. Try and keep it off my teeth, which is the hard part. I go pretty light on the eye makeup just because I do a strong lip instead. And then I set it all using just a heavy-duty hairspray sprayed all over my face. It keeps it from moving. Now, I recently chopped all my hair off, so I don't have much hair to do a vintage style. And since I'm going to be wearing a cap anyway, I'm just focusing on the front, doing a little water wave imitation, and mostly using hairspray because Disney World is in Florida. There's a lot of humidity. So do whatever you can. I'll put a recommendation for a great guidebook in the links below. And one more spread of hairspray and we're done. Now, here's the trick. Of course, you want to do your makeup first so that you don't get all the powder on your fancy dress, but also you don't want to mess up the dress by accidentally smearing your whole face across it as you're putting it on. So my trick is to take an old t-shirt, put it around your neck before you put the dress on, then put the dress over top of the t-shirt. It does take a little bit of finagling getting the arms right, but basically what happens is if you pull the t-shirt up over your face and under the dress, when you pull the dress down over your head, any makeup gets on the t-shirt instead of the dress. Is it complicated? Yes. Is it way easier than trying to get foundation off of a white or black or any color dress? Absolutely. Then all you have to do is button up or zip, fasten, or however your dress arranges itself. If you live alone, this may take a little more work. Now your dress has floof and no makeup. I add my cap, which you can arrange to your liking. I chose this one because it had a little bit of a Vader feel to it and covered a lot of my hair. I have a pair of vintage shoes that I like, but if you're going to be at Disney World all day, make sure that you buy a set of inserts or foot cushions. You can get these from a drugstore or a shoe store. They make it a lot more tolerable. Not entirely tolerable to wear heels around Disney World all day, but it means that your feet won't actually die. The next accessory is going to be gloves. You can either get real vintage gloves off of a place like Etsy or a local vintage store. These are reproductions. I got them from Unique Vintage, and they match the dress. They've got a nice kind of spider webbing pattern on it that I thought went nicely with the kind of ominous feel that Darth Vader brings. And one last finishing touch, just so the people who are walking around near you know what you're supposed to be. I like to find a crossbody that's graphic and gives a sense of what character I'm trying to be. So here's a kind of a red Sith Trooper bag that I got from, I believe, Loungefly, that adds a little bit of je ne sais quoi. Finally, outerwear, which is honestly usually optional in Florida. Finally, secret tips and tricks and things that I really cannot live without for Dapper Day. First, a parasol for sun and for rain. It gets hot and wet. Next, a fan, whether it's Disney branded or actually vintage. Again, it gets hot at Disney in vintage clothing. You're gonna want on. Next, moleskin padding for your feet. You will get blisters, and heels are really uncomfortable. So having the ability to pad your shoes while you're at Disney will save you from a lot of pain and misery while you're there, believe me. Next, some way to have your magic band that's not on your wrist. You're gonna want one around so that you can have PhotoPass photos, but you don't wanna have it on your wrist because it's not vintage. Ziploc bags, because it rains a lot and you're going to want to put your nice stuff in something waterproof. This is my favorite. It's a little mini deodorant from Secret. It looks like chapstick, but it's deodorant because, again, Florida is hot. Now this is probably silly, but some kind of poncho. I like one that's just for my hair. This is what I call my old lady hair poncho because I'm pretty sure it's nothing that someone my age has ever worn. It literally only goes over your hairstyle, and it's great for preserving your vintage look and less bulky than a full poncho. Emery board, 100% necessary, especially if you have your nails done and then you're kind of breaking them and scrabbling around while you're at Disney World. It's no fun. And finally, comfortable shoes, because you're gonna want them by about 3 hours in. This has been FashionEarsta's tips and tricks for Dapper Day Darth Vader look. Don't forget to subscribe to FashionEarsta and visit our website for more Disney news and other reviews. See you later, Darth Vader.